Hello and welcome. Today I am going to explain something that plays a big role in anxiety and stress: the avoidance cycle. Avoidance is a natural response to anxiety or fear. When we feel uncomfortable or threatened, it makes sense that we might want to avoid the situation. But here is the thing: avoiding situations actually makes the anxiety worse over time. And today I am going to explain why. Let's dive into the avoidance cycle and how it can keep us stuck. Imagine you are afraid of something, like crossing a busy street, speaking in public, or even just going to a social gathering. When you think about the situation, you start to feel anxious. Your heart races, your palms get sweaty, and your thoughts might start telling you something bad is going to happen, or I can't handle this. In response, you might choose to avoid the situation altogether. You decide not to cross the street, avoid the public speaking event, or skip the social gathering. On the surface, this might feel like a relief. You have escaped the discomfort, and your anxiety has decreased for the moment. This is where the avoidance cycle begins. You feel anxious, you avoid the situation, and then your anxiety decreases. It feels like the right thing to do in the moment, and in the short term, avoidance can seem like a way to feel safer. But here is the problem: avoidance reinforces the belief that the feared situation is dangerous or unmanageable. This belief gets stronger each time we avoid it. So let's say you avoid crossing the street and your anxiety drops. The next time you face the idea of crossing the same street, the anxiety comes back, even stronger, and the fear of crossing becomes more deeply ingrained. You might tell yourself, "See, I was right not to cross. It is too scary." The cycle of avoidance leads to the anxiety becoming more and more powerful. Over time, this cycle can make your fears feel bigger and more overwhelming. The more you avoid the situation, the less you are able to build the confidence and coping skills needed to handle it. What's really happening is that avoidance prevents learning. You are not giving yourself the opportunity to see that the feared situation might not be as dangerous as you think. Without facing the anxiety, you can't prove to yourself that you can manage it. This avoidance cycle can apply to many different situations: social events, public speaking, driving, or even going to certain places. Over time, the avoidance becomes a way of life, and it can limit your ability to enjoy everyday experiences. It also tends to increase the feeling of isolation, frustration, and helplessness. So, what can we do about this? In Cognitive Behavioural Therapy, or CBT, we work to break the avoidance cycle by using a technique called exposure. Exposure involves gradually and systematically confronting the feared situation in a way that feels manageable. The goal isn't to force yourself into overwhelming situations, but rather to start small, building your confidence step by step. For example, let's say you are afraid of crossing the street. Instead of completely avoiding it, we might begin by just standing near the street for a few minutes. Then you could work your way up to stepping onto the curb and eventually crossing the street. As you go through the exposure exercise, you will be noticing that your anxiety generally decreases the longer you spend in the situation. Through repeated exposure, you will begin to notice that your anxiety lessens over time. You will also learn that the feared situation isn't as dangerous as you thought, and you can handle it. Each time you face the fear, you build resilience, and the cycle of avoidance starts to break down. The key here is gradual exposure. It's about taking small steps to face your fears at your own pace, not jumping into the deep end. As you face each step, your confidence grows and you start to feel more in control. Over time, you can break the avoidance cycle and reduce the hold that fear has on your life. Another important part of breaking the avoidance cycle is learning to reframe your thoughts. Instead of telling yourself, "I can't do this," we help you challenge those thoughts and replace them with more realistic, balanced ones. Like, "I can feel anxious, but I can still cross the street." Or, "The anxiety will eventually pass and I am capable of handling it." By gradually confronting your fears and changing how you think about them, you will see that you are more capable than you might have believed. You don't have to stay stuck in the avoidance cycle. With the right tools, support, and practice, you can break free from it. It's all about creating new experiences that prove to you that you can handle discomfort and that the feared situation is not dangerous as you think. If you are ready to start your journey towards breaking the avoidance cycle today, the Ontario Structured Psychotherapy program is here to support you. You can visit our website at therapyontario.ca to learn more and get started today.